Hi guys, welcome to this New Age review. And today we're going to be reviewing someone who's been on the radar for a little bit. And that is Matias De Stefano. And I was personally really excited to review his stuff until I actually watched the interview that we're going to go into. And it was a little bit boring, I'm not going to lie. So it's just another, just boring, same talk with the same thing over and over again. But nonetheless, we're going to go into it because it is very interesting how these people work and how they pull in their crowds. With him in particular, he is active on Instagram and he also has his own YouTube channel right here. So on Instagram, more than 400,000 subs. On his YouTube channel, more than 200,000 subs. He is a Gaia ambassador. I do want to point that out, meaning he's basically just promoted by them over and over again and probably recruited by them, and they're probably his handler too, as we know, as people know who are following his channel. So this is just another NPC fulfilling the New Age deception agenda. His channel in particular only has music or just has things that you can't really review. I mean, I guess you could, but it's not going to get us anywhere. We want to go to the main concepts. And he has a few snippets of things on his Instagram. Now, who is Matias De Stefano? Let's go into his bio. So according to Gaia.com, which Gaia is one of the most evil networks out there, and we might want to review Gaia at one point too. At the age of 21, Matias De Stefano began to transmit his particular vision of understanding reality, helping thousands of people to have a different perspective of our environment and ourselves. So far he's done nothing from what anyone, you and I, can't do either, by the way. His philosophical worldview can be translated as heaven on earth. It is a concept explaining how we are creators of our own reality, as well as giving us the tools to be able to transcend it. He is currently developing new materials to help us understand the world and our role in it. Mind blowing. And here you go. You have 8D frequencies, the journey of remembering, and all of these other documentaries that they just put on here. A few had reviews that people were disappointed about them. I think if you go on Amazon.com or Netflix.com, there were actually a few reviews on his material, so I found that funny too. Here is a signature TikTok video, which is so funny. So he's basically talking about, let's tune in what he's talking about. And the subtitles are throwing me off, just in case you're wondering. So they're always popping up in Spanish. I think that has to do with the fact that he is from South America originally, and they're trying to really appeal to the Latin American crowd. They're really trying to brainwash the Latin American crowd with this person.
Of a free soul that says, I'm going to live a suffering life today. So where do I have to sign? It's not a contract. It's not a soul deciding, I will suffer this life. It's actually, the soul is actually a wave of energy that moves through time and space. So that soul will adapt to its own frequency. So a free soul will try to be born in free spaces. A free, jailed soul will born in jail places. So
yeah, already lost me there a little bit. I think he means imprisoned soul, but I found the comments so funny. This looks like a very uncomfortable chair. Look at that chair. It's a huge hand. One of those New Age hands. Could be the Hamza hand, right? Which the Hamza hand has so much symbology in it that's really just encoding things in your own reality, in a bad way, by the way. But then here's a nice comment. If a soul is a wave, what is the spirit and the body? Aren't they all waves in different frequencies? So people start becoming very philosophical here. And of course someone has a smart answer. But here's another one. I love you, Maddie. And I think that really just shows us the cult mentality that goes into the New Age and goes into these type of people who, as you can tell already, he doesn't know what he's talking about. He's grasping for words. Whether or not he would be more coherent in his native language of Spanish, we don't know, because we're reviewing his content in English, but he's grasping for words. The translations are quite poor into the English language, that is. I don't know about the Spanish translations here. Maybe a Spanish speaker can comment. And overall, it's not very convincing. And that's what I also found when I was looking at the interview, which we're going to discuss here. It's not convincing what he has to offer. Another thing is, and so this is just so mind-blowing how these people blow up out of nowhere. Another thing is, there was this Lionsgate. Oh, here we go. Lionsgate with Matias De Stefano. Where? One in LA and one in Kauai on August 8th. Now, if you go to my channel, I have this huge playlist here. So you just go up here. Reviewing New Agers, the New Age Trap. Okay, you go to this playlist right here. There are 45 videos at this point. I mean, there's going to be more in the future, and there's like almost 30 people that we actually reviewed. But there are Lionsgate portal videos on how the Lionsgate portal is the biggest New Age deception and a very dark agenda behind it. And what happened last year on the Lionsgate portal? Hawaii. All the people who were putting their energy into that Lionsgate portal, their energy was harvested, and Hawaii came about. The huge fires in Hawaii were actually fueled by that energy, by the focus that people put on it, which I'll have another video on that this year, no worries, because I do think it's an important topic. But just back to this clown here, which it's so hard to even keep a real face. Some of the comments, similar to Shannon Blake, the comments are sometimes the best thing about reviewing the videos. You just go through these comments. Lionsgate isn't real, though. Why would you do this? And of course, you have people who just love him and everything. But, I mean, you always have these people who just pop in and, try to question him. And luckily, there are more and more people doing that, especially with people like him. I mean, look at this. This guy has hundreds and thousands of followers. And it's ridiculous what he sputters and sputs out there. And people are actually following it like a cult. So we're going to go into this interview right here. It is with Emilio Ortiz. I have no idea who he is. But if he features more New Agers on his channel, I might review more of those New Agers that he features, because it is very important to debunk all of that. And the interview is very long. It's 2 hours long. We're just going to do a little bit of it. And we might have to speed it up too, because it can get a little bit boring, as I already said.
I'm doing this for, and many other things. And all of that gave me the chance to...
I find it was so interesting when you saw both of their faces. They both just look so soulless. You want to talk about two clones. Let's just go back to this here. No, it's gone. But they just both look like two clones.
Jump into another reality or kill yourself.
Yeah, it's crazy. Without context, killing yourself is not something I would necessarily be laughing about. And this already shows, like, this person either doesn't give an F of that, about other people struggling with death and suicidal thoughts, or he doesn't know what he's talking about. And for me, I think it's a mix of both. He's just so pushed up, like the handlers of Gaia, whoever controls Gaia, that network, they just pushed him up so much, like he's in the limelight now. Like, this idiot is basically in the limelight. He has 0 IQ, or if so, a very low IQ. He can barely speak English. He can barely talk English. I don't know about his Spanish skills. Wouldn't be surprised if his Spanish is pretty mediocre too, his native language. But regardless, this person is just pushed here by these Gaia handlers, and he sputters out so much BS, and then he laughs at stuff like that. And people watching this, how many people have watched this actually? I mean, of course, there are a lot of YouTube bots, but up to this date, supposedly 64,000. We don't know if that's the true number.
So, it was like...
They're both laughing. Yeah, very funny.
It was like too much intensity, and all the darkness that I didn't expect to face. It was like very, very deep and intense, not only with my own darkness, but with the darkness of the planet and the darkness of the subconscious that we all have created. And it's been
such a typical New Age thing. You've created the subconscious. You've created this entire hell realm that's beneath it. You created all evil. That's incorrect. AI created that. Unless you're actually AI. Yes, it is correct. If you're AI, you have created that. You know, somehow this was created at one point or another, but no, that's not how it works. Okay? People have not created this subconscious that's playing out right now. And that's what's so dangerous. You know, it's always like the gaslighting. Oh, you're having a bad day? Oh, that's because somehow you've manifested your bad day. No, that is not what's working out in real life.
terrible and amazing at the same time, because it's been like destroying myself to question what am I doing and who am I doing this for, and many other things. And all of that gave me the chance to rethink from where I'm doing what I'm doing. And
okay, sorry guys, the background noise. Let's just continue this clown show right here. He's very hard to follow.
it was very, very intense, and it still is, because of course an eclipse is not just one day or a few hours. It's a process of a long time, and of course the moon eclipse being in a place that destroys you, which is India, and preparing and talking to the very darkness surrounded by light in the middle of the Pearl of Asia in Sri Lanka. It was like too much to handle. I literally
So I had to speed it up a little bit because otherwise we're going to fall asleep. But they're talking about the eclipse, which the eclipse was AI generated by the Matrix controllers. And now he's talking about areas in the world where it basically doesn't matter. But let's see where this is going.
really wanted to die like 2 or 3 times that week. So yeah, it was beautiful and terrible.
Yeah, this is what people like him who don't know what's going on, yeah, of course you want to die because you have no idea what's being pushed in your reality. And this is supposed to be someone who's mentoring others or being an idol towards others. You just have to imagine this. Like, he's already mentioned death and dying and killing yourself more than twice in the past 2 minutes of this interview. Subliminal programming is what I call that.
Wow. I mean, you were born in this life with a particular ability of remembering most of your past lives, if not all of them, for the last 12,000 years. And when you ask most people what they're afraid of the most, they usually say, I'm afraid of death. But I don't think that is a subject with you.
No.
But you said that around this time, you faced your biggest fear. What was that?
My biggest fear is the nonsense. Because my life not talking about just my life now, but as an existing being, has been about being a weaver. And being a weaver basically is to take things that makes no sense by separate, when they are like just spread around, and to put them together and to make a shape with it. So it's like give a sense, give a meaning, for the 5 senses to have an idea of what this is. So the weavers of reality are basically entities that are connecting specific things with other things. So connectors. And when you take away all the different threads,
I'm speeding him up a little bit. So I'm speeding it up more than what the regular pace is. And he's still stuttering and mumbling, and it just sounds like an eternity to get a sentence across. I don't know if this is really just a language barrier issue or if he doesn't know what he wants to say. In my opinion, I don't think he knows what he wants to say, and is also a little bit of a language barrier issue. But I don't understand how people follow this person. Maybe that's why he has all those tiny clips on TikTok and Instagram, because you can only follow along for a minute before you lose interest, is what I'm guessing.
When you just make everything disappear, suddenly there's nothing to give a meaning to. There's nothing to shape. There's nothing to weave. And that's basically what I'm scared the most. Not having what to weave.
Wow. Other people are scared of other things like losing their relatives or, don't know. I like other types of fears, but yeah, this is a kindergarten level, in my opinion. Let's just go to learning to be a portal. So I'm going to jump ahead to some of these timestamps to make it a bit more interesting.
Yeah, and he helped me out.
Yeah, a lot of people, amazing. A lot of people will say that, like, oh, I have my day job, but then I have these like very mystical, occult interests. But when people ask you what's your day job, you say I'm a portal, and that got me thinking because you just said that we live through one of them.
Yeah, a portal to hell. Well, the only reason he's able to make that his main job is because Gaia, maybe ayahuasca too, but because Gaia recruited him. And now we have this NPC sitting here, like a little empty-looking clone body, brainwashing the masses. That's basically what's going on.
Most powerful gravitational portals maybe in history. So what was your role in all of that just happened very recently?
And just, as an FYI or a rhetoric question, why would you want to be a portal? A portal lets something through and out. So he's basically just an open container for entities to enter and feast off of him and others too. That's basically what he's saying. That's what this entire Lionsgate portal is about too, which it contains the gate and the portal in one. But why would you want to be a portal? They're already giving it all away that this person is riddled with entities
to live through.
Well, a portal, we are all portals, and we have portals all over.
Now it gets interesting.
Over our bodies. A portal is basically a middle point through where something that is on one side can cross to the other side. So every chapter...
No, a portal is something that people use to cross through, okay? It's not a middle point from one way to another. But okay, let's just see what this could be the language barrier.
Is a portal. Every joint in your body is a portal. Your eyes...
No, that is incorrect. Your hand is not a portal. It's insane. There's no intelligence. I don't feel any sense of intelligence from this person. Can we measure his IQ status?
Our portals, your mouth is portal, your nose is portal, your ears, so every sense is a portal. So we forget that we are portals for everything, and we are channeling constantly information.
So that's what they want us to be. They want us to be portals so that entities can randomly enter into your energy field and feast off of you. That's basically what he's saying.
Channeling others constantly. When we act as we think we act because we want to, or we are that, but actually we are channeling all the time the culture, the language, the way of moving, the way of acting. It's all about culture.
I'm trying to channel your intelligence right now. It's missing somewhere. I wonder which entity has it.
Or what have we learned from our parents, from our friends, so we act in a different way depending on the group of people we are with, or the topic we are talking, or even the language that we are speaking, we can change. So that's channeling too. It's not just about having a weird spirit within you and speaking weird stuff, We are natural channelers.
Right, you don't need that because you have Matias De Stefano, who's already a weirdo in and of itself.
Because we are magnetical and electrical beings. So we have positive, negative, so we are all the time channeling. So the thing is that when you become aware of what is a portal, you can become a whole portal yourself for many other informations. That is not just the cultural...
Well, why would you want to? You don't want to be a portal. You want to stand firm in your energy. Remember that video I had on power loss? Being a portal would basically be a form of a power loss. And you can see there's no power in this person's eyes. Pretty empty right here. Similar to the Emilio Ortiz person.
Structures.
Whoever that even is. We got to look him up after.
Or the beliefs or any tools that you have in your daily life. But also for a bigger field of information that is in the quantum realm or in another dimension, that keeps all information from past, from future, of other ways of receiving information or processing information of the universe. So suddenly what is to be a portal is that a portal should not have a specific belief. A portal should not have a specific way of thinking. It should be open to anything that is happening there. And
wow, did you guys just hear that? That's basically what they want you to be. A soulless, a being that they can basically just use for their own agenda. Don't have your own belief. Don't have your own emotions. Don't have your own life. Just be like we want you to be. Be a chess playing figure that we can play chess with. That's basically what these New Agers want you to be. And I know this is not coming from him. I know this is coming from his handlers, which obviously whoever's behind Gaia, that's his handler, or more than one handler is what I'm getting.
And anything that happens around can be understood if you open yourself for that. But if you, for example, say, I am a light worker, suddenly you reject what is in the other side, which is darkness. And so you don't allow the information of darkness to come through, which means that you have a perception of what darkness is, and then you have structures that hold you in a specific system, which means that you're not going to be neutral, or you're not going to be connected to the everything, because in order to connect to the everything or the unity, you need all the phases together. So, for example, in this portal, it was a lot of darkness. But in order to understand why that darkness was there and why that darkness is trapping us, I had to allow myself to be channeled by darkness. I needed to accept that darkness around.
Doesn't sound like light and love and light the New Age used to promote, huh? Maybe the New Age is turning towards satanic, devilistic practices is what I'm trying to figure out with this clown right here. Because the interview was pretty recent, and then all of a sudden something just shifts, right?
And within me, in order to understand the plan, to understand what is happening here. And so, and for a lot of people that has a specific structure in their minds, that we divide like against each other, or there's a plan for we have to go against the darkness or against the light, and you create enemies all the time, or polarity. So my portal job could be not very well understood because
yeah, we've been in this interview for 16-ish minutes. I know we skipped forward, but we're not getting to the depth of your personality, your purpose, and your soul mission. And I'm sorry, there's like commotion in the background. Of course, they try to throw that at you when you have something important to review and important to say, but I'm going to keep it like that just so you guys see how the Matrix works, how these AI controllers work, which he's obviously controlled by because he's AI. And so it's always distracting to get a message across when there are so many other distractions around you that basically just want to get you away from that, right? But yeah, there's nothing of substance this person has said in the past 15 minutes of this interview. It's insane. It is literally insane, you guys.
A lot of people say, oh, this person is working for the darkness, or he doesn't know what he's opening for anything to enter this reality. But actually, I do know.
Actually, I do know. I do know, but then he stutters. That doesn't make you seem very confident, Matias De Stefano.
And it's been terrible and amazing at the same time, because it's been like destroying myself to question what am I doing and who am I doing this for.
Yeah, if it's destroying you, those are entities trying to mess up your life. And everyone who's been in the New Age, including myself, no, and who's now out of the New Age, by the way, no, that's exactly what's going on. They don't care about your life. They try to destroy everything that you've ever had. They want to take over your vessel, meaning your body. And in this case, I don't know if his real soul, if he even had a soul to begin with, if that is even in his body anymore. But I wouldn't be surprised if they're trying to take him over, kind of like that entity takeover that I always talk about on my channel. So that's what I'm just getting from the few minutes that he is talking, his brainwashing.
And many other things. And all of that gave me the chance to rethink from where I'm doing what I'm doing, and the next moves that I have to give. So it was very, very intense, and it still is, because of course an eclipse is not just one day or a few hours. It's a process of a long time, and of course the moon eclipse being in a place that destroys you, which is India, and preparing and talking to the very darkness, surrounded by light in the middle of the Pearl of Asia in Sri Lanka.
And you said that
okay,
27,000 years
we're going to jump to this one. Somehow this video even is acting up. I didn't even push any button, but it's acting up. So we have a few timestamps here. What is the new game for humanity? Let's go into that one.
Decide what to do with a new game. What is the new game? And this game started in Scotland, he said. this game started in Scotland and will end in New Scotland. And the eclipse ended in New Scotland, in Canada, Nova Scotia. So it was like a perfect game closure for a cycle. And he said, well, I guess people choose to keep playing this game. So I will, so you broke my heart. So I will keep breaking my heart until you figure out. And
this person has no idea what he's talking about. The more I listen to him, like if you're following along, then you are probably brainwashed by the new age. But this person has no idea what he's talking about. He's literally grasping for words. He's stumbling and stuttering. I mean, of course, if English isn't his first language, there's this barrier. But still, he's literally grasping for a straw. I mean, there's nothing, there's really nothing nothing of substance here.
And the heart of the snake is Iran, which is symbolic what happened last week. So it's like breaking the heart of every system until
mind blowing. Yeah, they're trying to break your heart because when your heart is broken, you become more vulnerable and also distracted from what really matters. Meaning the controllers. So if your heart's broken, first of all, it needs extra time to be mended. That's time and energy you could be spending on something else, something and someone else. And then second of all, you make yourself more vulnerable for more entities to enter, mess with your life, attached to you. That is the only reason the heartbreak is coming up right now. So he's giving you a little bit of the truth, but really not the full-on truth that you really need to hear.
We figure out another way. And he said,
most likely because this dummy doesn't know what's really going on. I mean, just look at him.
See you next time that I align with you, which is April 2029. And so, yeah, let's wait.
We'll see where we're at then. But wow, I mean, there's so many dots that are connecting right now. And do you
just look at him? He was kind of like looking to the side, almost trying to read off a script. He doesn't know, like he's really fidgeting around. He's very uncomfortable. And this person right here, another clown. I don't understand how anyone is watching their channel. Honestly, there's no reason to watch any of these person's channels.
See that,
there's nothing of there's nothing of substance.
Of this Higgs boson particle that we found. Wow.
Okay, we're going to skip to our extraterrestrials coming back to Earth. Let's see what the Gaia ambassador has to say.
You said that, 27,000 years ago, there were different races from other planets that decided to seed civilization here on Earth in order to accelerate the planet's evolution. And when we entered this galactic darkness, or the galactic, you call it the winter, these beings, these races decided to leave. What is their role in reintroducing themselves back into human civilization? Because we're starting to see so much everywhere of this talk about extraterrestrials, and people are even making contact with their own mind. Where do you see that in this whole role of repairing time?
They're coming back, of course, slowly, because they know that we are not prepared for that.
I mean, keep in mind, this is not the speed it's usually at. It's already fast forwarded 1.25 times. Okay, this is how slow these people are talking.
The species that are aware in the galaxy, in the system, they know that we all work like a symphony.
Okay, so extraterrestrials, extra means extra, outside, outside, or like in the additional, and terrestrial, terra, is Earth. So, right outside of the Earth where we currently are, meaning, and let's just say we are under this dome-like structure or globe-like structure, then outside of that, meaning still on the same realm, you have those extra beings. They're not coming from other planetary whatevers. All right, that's number one. Number two, all of these ETs are government psyops anyhow, at least the ones he's talking about. So that's all you need to know about AI entities and ETs.
Like an orchestra. So each one of us, not individuals, but planets, we are like instruments in this orchestra. And ours is practicing how to play it. So we are still...
And all the planets you see, someone asked me about, I just saw them on a telescope. Yeah, those are projections and overlays. That's not really what's going on outside of us. Okay, we're not getting the full picture of what's really outside of us because they're netting one thing after another. So this clown for sure does not know.
Practicing, so we cannot be part of the symphony. Not yet. We have to practice. So every certain cycles, every planet has to practice. One of the things that happen with many of those planets is that the conflicts that they are having, it's in the future, not in the past or the present. Meaning that when we perceive other civilizations around, sometimes we believe that they are in the present and they travel in spaceships through space, but actually they are not. They are traveling through time. So when they connect with us, they are our future generations talking to the past. So for many species, we are the...
It's insane that people believe this. It's pure insanity. People actually believe they're Arcturian in the future. You just have to like talk about brainwashing. People think they're these blue beings or Syrian beings or whatever else they have, right? I mean, it's just unbelievable.
Very, very old ancestors of them. And whatever conflict they're having.
So if you're an ancestor of them, shouldn't you be wise? Shouldn't you already have all the answers? Because a lot of people are going to their ancestral lineages, such as the evil Mayans and evil whoever was in Peru, Machu Picchu people. And they're asking their ancestors for answers. So shouldn't you be the one, if you're the ancestor of that Arcturian, Pleiadian, whatever, shouldn't you be the one that's wise, right? Like, this is what always gets me with this entire theory of, no, we're just dumb. We have to follow these realities that they want to push on us. And then once we're in the 5D, we're going to be so smart. No, that's not how it works.
Now, talking to us is trying to do a family constellation.
It's just a bunch of contradictions in the New Age.
A biodecodification of their conflict. So whatever is happening here, we are fixing it for the future, for them. So.
Yeah, but you're not fixing anything by fidgeting around and not having the answers.
So that's why we are receiving messages of them and receiving tools from them, and every species has its own purpose on how to connect with us. So some of them wants for us to be their source of energy. Some of them wants for us to be their wise grandfathers and mothers. So yeah, it all depends on what is their species, but they're coming back to try to help us transcend our own conflicts because it's theirs in the future.
Is anyone convinced? I'm pretty sure no one following this channel is convinced, but does anyone actually believe this? Like, I mean, it's insane. If anyone actually believes this, where is your brain?
Mm-hmm. And even like for you, when you start remembering these past lives, and even from things like Atlantis, tens of thousands of years ago, what were some of the conflicts that you witnessed or observed in those civilizations that we are also helping them repair, or we're also getting information from that civilization that we can use now as wisdom to do it a different way?
When we try to go back now, remembering Atlantis, Lemuria, and all the civilizations, we are asking for advice on how to do it because they did it for a long time, and we are trying to repair their conflicts, of course. Like, for example, the Atlantis conflict was trying to control the colonies, and we have tried to do that all the time. Now we are trying
He's watched too much sci-fi. So let me get this straight. We right now are the only species in between all these civilizations that don't have the answers. The Atlantis generations had the answers. They are our ancestors. And the Arcturians in the future have all the answers. They are our future. But since we are the future of the Atlantean beings, we should have more answers than them. No, according to him, no. And since we are the ancestors of the future, ETs or whatever, we should also have the answers because we're the ancestors. We should have the answers so that they would be consulting us. But no. So nothing makes sense. Nothing makes sense in this timeline that they're trying to push on you in this interview.
To do it with AI controlling, I don't know, media.
I don't know. That is the best sentence I've heard from you, Matias. You do not know. I agree. You know nothing.
So, the previous civilizations that are a reflection of ours today, they can give us some tools on how can we repair our problems today. And one of the main keys that they had to solve most of their problems was frequency. And we are not using the sound, the technology of sound, as a way of repairing the system. So I think that we can learn from that a lot from the past, how they use the word technology of the language, technology of sound, in order to.
Yeah, because obviously your real language skills are lacking. So I pulled this interview up in another tab. Right here, they're at 1 hour in, thriving in the unknown. Let's just see what he has to say about this. I actually want to move this up a little bit. Okay.
A student of Dr. Joe Dispenza's work, and in his meditations,
Dr. Joe Dispenza, he should be reviewed. Let's review that guy. Such a fraud.
It's all about reaching exactly that, is the unknown, reaching that void space. And that's when people are trying to overcome themselves, when people are trying to change their current reality, only in that void can you have a paintbrush and create something else. Is this similar? Like when we're
even the interviewer doesn't know what he wants to ask. It's like everyone's kind of stuttering and stumbling over their words.
The laws of like
it's really irritating when this interview is 2 hours long. Obviously none of these clowns has a direction, and you're just wasting people's time instead of like clear, concise questions and answers. This could all be done in 10 minutes. No, it has to be 2 hours long. Let's speed this up a little bit. Let's see here. Let's speed this up. Let's see.
So below, when we ourselves reach a state of the void, that is the only way we can
1.5 times
for ourselves. Or how do you see that?
Yeah, that's completely it. You cannot create something new or start a new path or a new reality with the burden, with the story, with the karma, whatever you want to call it, of everything that you have done before, or all the conditionings that you have from your previous existence or previous beliefs. From there, you cannot create anything.
So they're pushing the karma trap and the karma brainwashing too. It's interesting. It's fascinating. All these new age concepts, they keep on coming up over and over again.
Only repeat. You are in a loop. You are constantly doing the same thing. But if you get out of it in order to create something new, and you say, I want to create something completely new for me. So in that moment, what happens is that the whole universe will start to show you the void. And you will go through the crisis of breaking everything that you believed in until you destroy yourself. And when you, and that's why we relate the void with something horrible. That's why we relate the void with something that we don't want to face, because it means that in order to arrive there, we have to destroy everything that we believe in, everything that we love, everything that makes us feel safe, everything that we have been creating for our own survival.
Yeah. And see, I think this is what's so dangerous, because we all know, without even being spiritual, we all go through these phases in our lives. Some people blame it on the Saturn return, which is usually when you're around 27 to 30 something years old, where, you have these huge crises like quarter life crisis, midlife crisis, all of that. And this is similar to what he's talking about, which, just look at him, like his eyes, there's like some entities there over his eyes. At least that's what I'm seeing. Also his mouth. So he's very controlled here by entities. So what he's saying is partially true, that people go through these stages where we enter this crisis where nothing fits anymore. And for some people, that's a spiritual component. But you don't have to be in the new age deception. You don't have to be religious to go through those stages. No matter what, this is just what life is. Something doesn't fit anymore from the past. So we have to go through this phase until we can create or enter the future, where we're going to be, where we want to be. It's also part of manifesting, obviously. When you move from one place to another, a lot of people go through all these stages for various different reasons, in different age groups too. So it's not just something you do once or twice in your life. No, you can do this it depends on your life circumstance. And this is what's so dangerous, because there's a little bit of truth to what he's saying, but he's basically blaming the spirituality on it. He's blaming, you have to go through this in order to somehow ascend into 5D or feel complete in your life, which is absolutely incorrect. Okay, people are going to go through these no matter what. It's more about how they're going to deal with them. And this is part of life. This is part of change. It has nothing to do with, being part of the New Age or not being part of the New Age. But they're trying to put this New Age component to it, which makes it even more dangerous, because then people who are in that community, they're going to have more of these, actual destructions of their lives, because entities are causing that too. You can actually call upon a lot of entities that are going to latch onto people around you, make your life very miserable. And I myself have experienced that when I was still in the New Age, and so have other people who I've talked to who were into all of this material. And this is why it's so dangerous to actually even review these people without really knowing, what's going on, or to actually just follow these people in general.
Survival and existence is worthless when you try to go to the void in order to become the creator of your own reality. You cannot become the creator of your own reality unless you destroy the reality that has been created for you.
Yeah, see, this is where, no, that's wrong. You create your reality in every single moment of your life, whether you see it that way or not.
So for that, it requires to let go everything. And that's why when we have to reach that point, we usually leave crisis, accidents, conflicts, separations, and we start to believe what is happening. Why the universe is giving this to me? If I am good, if I am doing the right things, why everything is being destroyed around me? And basically because the universe is giving you the biggest gift that you could have, which is destroy everything in order to create.
Yeah, we can already tell this person's an optimist. If he really believes that he's an optimist, which that's a healthy outlook, I'm going to give him a plus point for that. It's better than to say, everything's doom and gloom. But this person is quite dangerous, as you can already tell with this entire review.
But we don't see it that way because we're mammals and we are used to be safe in hurt.
Well, no matter what, people are going to go through those crisis situations, whether or not they listen to you or not, right? So he's basically just regurgitating what every person goes through throughout their life, but he doesn't give you an explanation, really. He there's no substance in what he's saying.
That humanity now, as a collective, is going to be facing that void.
Yeah, we are.
No, that's not how it works.
We are facing.
Just because you're facing that void, because you're in a life crisis, Matias, does not mean me or others are facing that void. And this is where it gets really interesting, because when people follow these cult leaders, similar to Phil Good, by the way, like he would just have all these videos out on, this is how I feel today and today. And so many people would comment, yes, that's exactly how I feel. And then some were like, that's not how I feel. And of course, no one's really going to feel the exact same way. But by just following these cult leaders, you're actually going to somehow be in that same reality that they're in. And you're going to be reinforcing, re-emphasizing it, because you're giving your energy and power to that. So of course, you're going to be experiencing that. Whereas if you just take a step away, distance yourself from that, and then maybe come back a year later, you're going to see how different your life really is from these clowns. And if you haven't done that yet, do it right now and message me in a year from now. You'll see the huge difference. And how your life is actually going to improve once you get rid of all those entities that are attaching to you thanks to these people.
And we're also facing an option of being destroyed by an asteroid in a few years. So...
Does he actually believe, like, this is insane, that people, how many asteroids were supposed to destroy Earth for the past 200 years or so? Wasn't there this one in 2000, and then 2012 the Earth was supposed to come to an end? So yeah, this is another like doom and gloom, just theory floating around.
I think we have to start thinking about that void. We have to start thinking about what could happen, because in the next decade, in the next 2 or 3 decades, we are going to face things that will make us possibly think that everything could finish, everything that we have could end. So
it's kind of like this archaics guy who's like, oh yeah, in 2040, we're going to be in this reality where you can't verify it, right? Because it's like 30 years from now. 30, 20, 40, 50, 60, 70 years from now. So all of these are pretty much worthless. Predict something that's going to happen tomorrow, or predict something that's going to happen next month. And they never do that because it's going to be too accurate in the way that whatever they're predicting is false, and people are going to actually start unfollowing these people. So it's just going to be too eye-opening, and that's why they never predict something that's going to happen in the very near future.
So if we try to hold on tight to our previous ideas of what is safety, we will suffer it. But if we start to think, wait a moment, maybe this is the best option, chance that we have in order to create something completely new that we have never lived before, like the hidden game, as we were talking, is hidden because we don't allow ourselves to see it, because we are so in love with the other system, with the previous one created, that we don't see another option. So that's why we are trying. There are so many people making the question, what could be better? There are so many people trying to escape the matrix. There are so many people trying to change the game. So many people trying to believe in something different. That all of that is creating a new reality here. So in the subconscious is creating the option for that to happen. And that's why in the next time we will face the possibility of changing everything. So a crisis.
Yeah, okay. We're already like 45 minutes in. I think we're going to leave it at that. There's this hypnotizing effect coming from him. And I also feel the person who's interviewing him, Emilio Ortiz, is a bit hypnotized by him. So it must be even more powerful when you're in actual contact to this person. For me personally, it doesn't matter because I see through their BS no matter what. But I do understand that followers can be hypnotized by that. I'm not sure if it's in something he's putting out, like some sort of frequency or some overlay, or if it is his eyes. You know, that's always one where they like to hypnotize you with, or just in general. He's a musician. He might very well put a frequency somehow when he gets interviewed. Who knows, right? Can't really accuse him of much more than that right now, because honestly, like, we fast forwarded his video, even like the playback speed was 1.5 times and there's still nothing of substance. So if you're still following him, that's on you. I hope this review helped some people discern at least and see the huge brainwashing that's going on in that community. Comment below. We need more suggestions of people who want to be reviewed or who should be reviewed. Subscribe to this channel if you're new. My name is Laura from Shamanic Self at shamanicself.com. Thank you so much for your support. Like, thumbs up this video, and talk to you in the next one. Until then, bye guys. Have a good one.